Hello, everyone. My name's Tyler Gibbs. I'm an assistant director of admission here at WPI, and I would like to welcome you for tuning in to learn more about Worcester Polytechnic Institute. And we're fortunate enough here at WPI to be able to co-present with our current student. So I'm going to have Emma introduce herself before we dive into things.
Hi everyone, my name's Emma. I'm a current senior at WPI and I study biomedical engineering, and I have a dual concentration in biomechanics as well as biotissues and materials. On campus, I'm also involved in art club, radio club, and a couple other professional and honor societies for my major as well.
Perfect. So what to expect in today's presentation? First, I'll go over some of the programs we offer here at WPI and some of the things we like to focus on here. And then Emma's going to dive into what's called the WPI Plan. Now, this WPI Plan is truly what makes WPI WPI and what makes WPI different from a lot of other institutions. Then I'll talk about campus resources and student life, and then end with the all-important admissions and financial aid information. So first off, why WPI? So as you probably already know by now, WPI is a STEM-focused institution, but we're also a STEM school where humanities matter. And Emma will talk about this in just a bit as part of the WPI plan. We are also a research university where students have plenty of opportunities to conduct research, but we also have a huge focus on project-based learning. In almost every single one of your courses, you'll be doing some form of project-based work. And these will mostly be team-based projects as well. And there are a couple large-scale projects you will be required to complete in order to graduate. Then the last thing listed there, More in 4. This was an initiative created by our current president, where she said she wants our students to be able to do more in their 4 years here at WPI than they would at any other institution. So there are a number of different ways at which she's looking to do this, and throughout the presentation, we'll be touching on these. So here at WPI, we have over 50 different degree programs in which you can choose to major. We have everything from 12 different engineering programs. You can also major in the more traditional science and math programs like biology, physics, chemistry. You can also be an actuarial mathematics major. You also have the opportunity to be on a pre-med or pre-vet track if you're looking to pursue that after you graduate from WPI. We also have the business program. So if you're interested in studying business, the unique thing about our business program is it looks at business through the lens of STEM. So it's specifically designed to train students who want to go work in STEM-based companies and organizations. And business happens to be our largest minor as well. A lot of students like to couple their STEM major with that business minor because a lot of them go out and work for companies where they want to work their way up into management. We also have computer science, as well as interactive media and game development. So students looking to work on video games, do 3D design for companies like Pixar, typically pursue that degree. And the cool thing about it is there are 2 programs you can choose within interactive media and game development. One side is if you're interested in the art, the design, the storytelling of the game, and the other side if you're interested in the actual programming of the game or art. So we mentioned all these different programs and areas of study at WPI. But the important thing to note is when you apply to WPI, you just apply to WPI. You don't apply to a specific school, a specific program, or a specific department. And because of that, 20% of our students enroll undecided. They know they want to study STEM, but they're not sure exactly what within STEM they want to study, and that's okay. You can spend your first year exploring different offerings here, and then when you know, you can declare your major halfway through your freshman year. And if you want to switch your major after that, it's very easy to do. And that's the great thing about the flexibility with all of our programs. So I mentioned all the different programs we offer here, and students do choose to double major. And this is something that can certainly be done. It just takes a bit of planning. And this is something your academic or your faculty advisor can help map out to see how you'd fit it in during your time here at WPI. In regards to minors, the vast majority of students will minor during their time here. And it's something students pick up to help enhance whatever their major is, or it's simply just another area that they're interested in studying. And I mentioned that More in 4. One way that we are looking to do that is to create programs where students can complete their undergrad and master's in 4 and 5 years. We currently have several programs where students can complete their undergraduate and their master's degree in just 5 years. And we also have programs where students can complete both their undergrad and master's in just 4 years. I know students who will be graduating this May with both their undergraduate and their master's degree and will have only taken them 4 years. Then you can see the boxes on the bottom. We do have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We do try to keep our class sizes as small as possible, given the project-based nature of our courses. And then, as you can see, if you visited through our virtual tour, all the different labs and buildings we have here at WPI. And then a number we're most proud of is our 95% freshman to sophomore retention rate. So this means 95% of the first-year students that moved in on campus fall 2018 returned fall 2019 for their sophomore year. So hopefully throughout the entire presentation, you can see why we think this number is so high. But for now, I'm going to hand it over to Emma, and she's going to dive into that WPI plan I've been referencing.
So I'll be talking to you guys about the WPI plan. I basically eat, sleep, breathe this plan, and there are a couple of different components that I will be going over that make up the WPI plan, which is basically how WPI rolls out our academics. So to begin, our first component is our academic calendar. So we still have a fall and a spring semester, but our calendar is broken further into 4 terms, A, B, C, and D term. Each quarter is 7 weeks long, and every student takes 3 classes. These aren't abridged courses. They are traditional semester-based courses that are offered for the same amount of credit in a 7-week span. So students typically meet very often, and that allows them to really be able to go through the material quickly almost every single day. And this still allows students to meet with professors often as well. So it helps students to work at a faster pace while still getting the support that they need. We do have breaks between each quarter as well. These quarters are true breaks with no new or previous material to work on. After you complete your 3 classes, you're able to kind of go on that break. We have a 10-day break between A and B term as well as C and D term. And then between B and C term is our traditional month-long holiday break. We also have an optional E-term. This is a perfect summer opportunity for students to take classes, and this is how our students are able to complete a master's in 4 years or pick up a double major or minor as well. It's a great opportunity for students to get a little extra done in 4 years here. If you're not taking classes, this long summer is also a great opportunity for internships and co-op. An internship is typically 2 to 3 months long and sits neatly within your summer, and a co-op is like an extended internship. Typically, co-ops are about 6 months long, so it does eat some of the academic year. Students are able to open up terms with advanced credit. We take 4 or 5s on the AP exams or 6 or 7s on the higher level IB exams. This advanced credit allows students to free up some space in their schedule so that they can do a co-op and not have to push their graduation date at all. Next, within our classroom, we also have a non-punitive grading policy. This means that we have A, B, C as solid letter grades without any pluses or minuses. This really creates a collaborative environment rather than a competitive environment, which really sets us up well for working in the real world. There's no more competition in the classroom, and you're not competing with your peers for the difference between a 98 and a 97. Teachers set the requirements for grades based off of mastery of content instead, which places an emphasis on learning and comprehension rather than memorizing something to regurgitate on an exam. We also have a grade of NR, or no record, which is exactly what it sounds like. If you take a class and don't meet the requirements for a solid letter grade, then you can NR the class. Basically, a no record will not affect your GPA and will not show up on your transcript. This option basically serves as a safety net for students that want to take risks with their classes or their schedules, maybe explore options for double majors or minors, and they feel safe enough to do so because they know that a no record will be there to kind of back them up. Most students don't even use a no record during their time on campus, so it does truly act as a safety net and allow students to feel comfortable with their academics while they are on campus. No records are also built into our 4 years as well, so it won't add any time to your 4 years if you do have to use a no record. If you do the math quickly, we have 3 classes per quarter over 4 years, so there are 48 different opportunities to take classes at WPI. A bachelor's degree in any major typically requires 45 credits, which means there are 3 extra opportunities for students to take additional classes or to use an NR if they need to. Next, we also have a very flexible curriculum within our majors. So there is no set calendar order that we must take classes in. Students are really able to take advantage of the curriculum offered at WPI at a pace that they want to, and they can hand select classes that are interesting to them or at a level that they feel ready for, and that can be very specific to their career goals after their time at WPI. This flexibility and specificity really sets up students for success after WPI. For example, as a BME student, I'm able to really hand select some classes and labs that are using technology that are already being used in the workforce, and I'm getting that experience on campus. The next biggest component of the WPI plan is our project-based learning. So students experience this pretty much every single day in every class, but there are 4 major projects that are built into our 4 years at WPI. 3 are built into our curriculum, and 1 is optional. So the first one is the only optional project, Great Problem Seminar. This is for first-year students exclusively and allows students to gain exposure to project-based learning at WPI early in their 4 years. So the Great Problem Seminar typically focuses on real-world problems, typically in categories like feed the world, power the world, heal the world, and a couple others. The Great Problem Seminar also spans over 2 terms. In the first term, you'll learn about your project, and in the second term, you create your teams, and then you propose a solution or further research as well. So again, a great introduction to what these big projects look like on campus. The second project is the Humanities and Arts project. So as a student here, you can choose what you want to do your humanities in, anything from art, music, English, history, philosophy. And you'll take 5 classes in a humanities of your choosing and then wrap it up with a capstone or a seminar-based project. For my humanities, I chose to pursue creative writing, so I took an English seminar with one of my favorite professors, and I created an English portfolio of short stories that I wrote, and that was my humanities requirement. The last 2 projects are kind of the biggest projects. So first is the Interactive Qualifying Project, or the IQP. This is typically done in your junior year, and a lot of students do go abroad for this one. You'll typically step outside of your major for this, work with other students from other majors as well, and really learn how to collaborate with your teammates to come up with a solution for a real-world problem. This is a great project because you're learning how to use your engineering mindset, typically through a social science lens, and learn the impact of science and technology on society. For IQP, I did mine in Morocco, and we worked with a women's art organization on different artisanal techniques. We basically did product development on tiling and mosaics and taught the different women at the art organization how to create different art with these, and then they're able to sell their products on the local street markets and earn financial income and revenue for their families, and they're able to support their household independently, which is huge. The next project is your MQP, which is your major qualifying project. This project runs the length of your senior year and kind of culminates everything that you've learned, all the soft skills, communication skills that you've learned, and combines it into one big project right within your area of expertise, your major. You can create your teams for this if you want, or if you have your own ideas, you can also go to a professor or an advisor and kind of pitch it to them. Typically on campus, a lot of companies will come, professors will pitch their ideas to us, and then we'll take that on for our senior year. My MQP is working with tissue engineered heart valves, where we're working on growing these heart valves in a different way to see if we can make them a little bit more stable and more mechanically robust than what they are currently being done in class as well. And then next is our study abroad program. So typically, again, this is where a lot of students will go abroad, is their interactive qualifying project. There are opportunities to go abroad for your humanities and your major qualifying project as well. So if you wanted to travel abroad 3 times in your 4 years, you absolutely can. There's more than 50 different project centers around the world, and WPI guarantees every single student up to $5,000 to travel. So it's entirely up to you if you want to take advantage of that. You don't have to go abroad or globally if you don't want to. You can also pursue a similar experience right in the US or domestically, kind of closer to home at WPI on campus or in the New England area. So if you want to travel abroad, it's a great opportunity to kind of have that experience with that project component. Up next is a short video just kind of going over the different projects and the IQP and the MQP on campus as well.
What I found different from my high school was that at WPI, everyone is there because they love to learn.
Project opportunities are built into all 4 years of the WPI curriculum.
My name is Marco Villar. I'm from San Diego, California, and I innovate building materials. What I would like to go into is finding alternative methods that make a building less harmful to the environment. I knew that with WPI's project-based curriculum, I'd be able to get that hands-on experience. You get the chance to apply what you learned in a classroom out onto the field.
I'm Bree, and I innovate infant respiratory rate monitors. For biomedical engineering design class, you're presented with a problem. So ours was to create a device that will help prevent sudden infant death syndrome. It's so incredible to have something that I can look at and say, I did that. I created this in 7 weeks.
My name is Chelsea Ross Miller. I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I innovate regenerative medicine. I've wanted to be a doctor since I was 13. It's one of those few things in my life that hasn't changed. So I didn't want to go to college where it was going to be back to Scantron tests. I wanted to go to a place where I could actually do something with what I was learning. You really have that opportunity all the time to be innovative and to apply your knowledge. And so that's important to me, even getting my biology degree, to be working towards something that's going to be benefiting healthcare in the long run.
My name is John. I'm from New Jersey, and I innovate robotics. Frankly, the whole robotics program itself is innovative. We think of robotics like a three-legged stool. There's one leg that's the mechanical engineering side, one leg that's the electrical and computer engineering side, and then one leg that's the computer science side. You become really well-rounded, and that's what companies love. I never really thought that I was going to be building robots from day one in my robotics class, but I was.
In their junior year, students embark on the interactive project, what we call the IQP. About 90% of our students do their IQP off campus at locations all around the globe.
I have been working in a community called Machiniwa. We are located in Cape Town, South Africa. Right now, I am standing in one of the community members' shacks. These shacks are amazing, but there's no light. They're all metal, so how is any light gonna get in, ever? We started sketching out some ideas, and I'm still blown away by the fact that a bottle of water, bleach, and just put it in a hole in your roof can allow so much light into a shack that you would be able to replace a 50-watt light bulb with this bottle of water. It's incredible. It's what the community really wanted, and it's a new and innovative way to do it.
Welcome to Venice!
This is the measuring stick that's used to measure the water level. These are actually devices that we made ourselves.
The work here was really giving Venice a way to monitor their canals, and Venice's canals are like their roads. It's how they get around, it's how they transport things. IQPs will do that. They give these cities and these countries ways to improve how they're doing things.
The best thing about being a WPI student is that you're finally with a community of people that have the same passion and values that you do.
They may not realize it, but they're changing the world as their college students. They don't have to wait until they're out of college to change the world.
You honestly have the chance to make the change that you want to make.
I'm gonna try to improve my community, and then eventually, who knows, I will change the world.
We're no longer students, we're thinkers, we're researchers, and we're innovators pushing the world to become something different and something better.
We innovate everything.
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 So to sum it up, this project experience in the WPI plan really allows students to gain a lot of soft skills and hard skills that they're later able to be used in their careers and jobs that we head into, and it really sets us up for success. And to talk more about that success after graduation, I'll hand it back over to Tyler.
Perfect. Thanks, Emma. So here at WPI, the Career and Development Center is the office on campus that works with students to help them find internship, co-op, and job opportunities. They also help students with practicing different forms of interviews, writing cover letters, resumes. And they also host 2 large career fairs every year where hundreds of employers come to WPI to hire WPI students. They know the WPI plan and they'll ask students, what did you do for your IQP? Or what are you working on for your MQP? And students are able to talk about that real-world experience, which I think helps set them apart from other candidates. And as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner from the report published by the Career and Development Center, the average starting salary for the class of 2018 was just over $69,000. And I recently saw that for the class of 2019, the number was just released, and that's just over $70,000. So in regards to campus life, here at WPI, there's several different housing opportunities for students to take advantage of. We do require first-year students to live on campus, and because of that, first-year housing is guaranteed, but we do not guarantee housing all 4 years of your time here at WPI. And so because of that, about 62% of our entire undergrad population lives on campus. That extra 38% have simply moved off campus to local area apartments or into their respective Greek houses. But if students want to live on campus all 4 years, they do have the opportunity to do that. As a first-year student, you'll most likely be in a designed triple, so you'll have 2 roommates. We also have quads, so students will have 3 roommates, and we also have doubles, where students will have 1 roommate. Now to talk a bit more about clubs, organizations, and athletics, I'll hand it back over to Emma, where she'll talk about that.
All right, so we are a D3 school, so we have 10 men's and 10 women's varsity teams, and then underneath that, we have 40 different club sports teams and different intramural sports teams offered throughout the year. And we also have 250 clubs and organizations to be involved in on campus. This can range from more academic or professional honor societies to more leisure activities, art club or radio club, things like that, something that interests you. And then, of course, if you want to create your own club, you absolutely can. There truly is something for everyone. Also, aside from this, we also have ROTC, Greek life, and different religious affiliated organizations as well.
Perfect. So now to talk a bit about where we're located. So WPI is located in the city of Worcester, Massachusetts, which is the 2nd largest city in all of New England with about 200,000 residents, and just over 38,000 are actually college students. There are many other colleges and universities in the Worcester area. So if you picture the state of Massachusetts, Worcester's right in the middle, about an hour west of the city of Boston. And here's a great aerial shot looking at WPI with downtown Worcester just past that. Downtown is just over a mile away. And in downtown Worcester and throughout the city, there's plenty of things for our students to take advantage of, from various different theater and music venues to restaurants, to an arena that houses a hockey team, an indoor football team, as well as concerts. And we also have a train station, Union Station, that can bring students into the city of Boston to visit friends, go to Red Sox games, or simply get to Logan Airport to fly home on breaks. So when you're looking at this photo, WPI main campus is right there in the middle. It's that cluster of brick buildings. And then you can see our athletic fields over to the right, our field hockey, softball field in the front, then our football field in the back. So now let's look at when and how to apply to WPI. In regards to how, we are on the Common Application. And for those who don't know what that is, it's an online service where you can apply to many, many different colleges and universities across the United States. So as you start your college search, just keep track of which schools are and are not on the Common App, because it will make your life a lot easier. In regards to when to apply, we have 3 different dates you can apply by, but multiple different application options. So by November 1st, you can apply early decision, which is a binding decision, or you can apply early action, which is not binding. If you apply early decision, you'll be notified by December 15th. But if you apply early action by November 1st, you'll be notified by January 15th. Our second deadline is January 15th. At this round, we have an early decision round 2, which is binding, and we also have an early action round 2. Those who apply early decision round 2 will be notified by February 15th, and those who apply early action round 2 will be notified by March 1st. Our last deadline is February 15th, and this is regular decision, which is non-binding, and students will be notified by April 1st. In regards to what else is required, like I mentioned, we do require the Common Application, which includes the Common App essay. We also require the high school transcript. Now, there are a couple things that we'll be looking for on that specifically. 1, that you've completed 4 years of English and math. 2, that you've completed at least 2 lab sciences. And 3, I'll be looking to make sure you will have completed at least pre-calculus by the time you graduate high school. And that's because Calculus 1 is the lowest level of math we offer here at WPI. So you want to make sure you're prepared to succeed here. The other thing that's required are letters of recommendation. We require 2 letters of recommendation, one from your guidance counselor or college counselor, and your second is from a teacher. We do have a preference to a STEM teacher because they can talk about how you do in a science, technology, engineering, or math setting, which WPI is. There are 2 optional things. One are the SAT or ACT scores. Here at WPI, we are completely test optional. So if you feel like your SAT or ACT scores are not an accurate reflection of who you are as a student, don't feel like you have to submit those. And we do have an optional personal interview. We do them here on campus and when we are able to travel as a staff across the country. So if you are interested in an interview, like I said, they are completely optional. We do take notes, and those notes do get reviewed as part of the application review process. So if you're interested in an interview, feel free to check out our website. So what we look for. So here are some averages of students who were admitted to WPI. Most of our students take advantage of the math and science curriculum offered at their high school. Most of them fall in the top 10% of their graduating class. And then you can see the average GPA of a 3.92, and then the middle 50% for SAT and ACT scores for students who submit them. These are simply averages. They're not hard cutoffs for our applicants. We look at the whole student, so everything that they are as a student, that they're involved in, their grades, their rigor, their teamwork, their project-based work, all goes into making the decision for who's admitted to WPI. So now to dive into the scholarships and financial aid information. At WPI, your application to WPI is your application for our merit scholarships. There are no separate applications unless you're part of FIRST or VEX Robotics. There is a separate application where you can receive a merit scholarship for being involved in one of those 2 organizations. So I highly recommend you check that out on our website. In regards to financial aid, there are 2 forms students are required to fill out in order to receive any financial aid. The first is the FAFSA. That's the free form required by the federal government to receive any type of financial aid from the federal government. And then the second form is the CSS profile, which is required by private institutions that award their own institutional aid, which WPI does. Both of these forms go live starting October 1st. The sooner you fill these out and the sooner you apply to WPI, the sooner you'll hear from us regarding your financial aid package if you're admitted to WPI. So I always recommend students and families fill out both the FAFSA and the CSS profile as soon as they're able to do so they have the most amount of time to make the best decision for themselves and their family. So to wrap things up, bringing it back to why WPI, throughout today's presentation, we've touched on our STEM focus as a school, but also how humanities do matter at WPI. We've talked about the research opportunities, and we spent a good deal of time talking about the project-based work you'll be doing here, including the large-scale projects you'll be doing in order to graduate. And then we've highlighted a number of different things we're doing for students to do more in their 4 years here. So if you have questions for us, I highly recommend you reach out. Feel free to follow us on social media, send us messages, shoot us an email so we can get those answered for you. And I invite you to join one of our online chats so we can answer any questions you might have.